everybody. My name is Chris, and I'm a guide here at the Henry Whitfield State Museum in Guilford, Connecticut. And behind me, as you can see, is the Henry Whitfield house. And it looks very nice because it's a gorgeous day. There you go. And if you're curious as to where Guilford is, I'm going to put a map down in a second so you can come and visit us. Hey, welcome back. So in this video I'm going to do, I call it, Is It Still Useful? And what I'm going to do is pick an object or an artifact that's in the museum and talk a little bit about it, and then try to play around with this ancient artifact, you know, probably something that's made over 100 years ago. Would it still be useful today? And behind me is the Whitfield Museum, and as you can see over here, that's the door to go in. And when we go in, I'm going to take you into a room called the Great Hall, where I've picked out my first favorite artifact, and we'll talk about it, and we'll see if it's still useful for today. Okay, so now that we're in the Great Hall, you can see that there are a lot of different objects in here, but the object that I've chosen to make this video about is right next to me. Actually, it's to my right, which is right here. And it's not really a object, it's a two-object thing. It's called a mortar and pestle. The mortar and pestle. These are two mortar and pestles that we have here at the Henry Whitfield Museum. They are both made out of wood, but what I wanted to show you was the size differences between the two. As you can see, the larger one is quite large for a mortar and pestle, and obviously you could grind wheat or corn. You could do a lot more of it than you could do with the small one. The smaller of the two is a more practical mortar and pestle for today's world. Perhaps you might even have one at home. They make them out of wood, like this one, or stone or metal. The bigger of the two, believe it or not, is over 300 years old and is quite large, so you'd be able to grind or pound wheat, corn, whatever you wanted to inside of it. So for this video, is it still useful? I have to ask myself, well, I don't really farm, and I don't particularly like making my own food from raw materials. Back in the day, early America, they probably threw corn in here and used the pestle and crushed it up to make meals or so. I actually prefer to get my food from the supermarket today, but that's just the future. Anyways, is it useful? Yeah, you could probably, if things really got bad, you could use that, and if you had a lot of stuff that you needed to grind up, sure. But overall, not very useful, because it's more convenient to just go to the store to pick up what you need. So we've learned that the mortar and pestle make a great combination, and together they're a wonderful tool. More convenient to go to the store these days. And on a second note, when I'm looking at that pestle, kind of like to think of it as like Thor's hammer there, I think it would be very useful. I give it a thumbs up for self-defense or home defense. Anyways, I hope you've liked my video. I hope you've learned something. These are all items that you can find at the Henry Whitfield State Museum in Guilford. And if you like this video, please make it be known. All right, thanks for watching.